Ladies and gentlemen, we're back tonight, Friday night Celtic chat with myself, Gary, and Keith. Gary and Keith together. Might as well call myself Gary because my middle name is Gary anyway. Gaz is back from a Celtic appreciation page. Good to have you back on, Gaz. How has things been over on your side of the woods this week?
Yeah, not too bad. Obviously, just everybody's just buzzing for the Champions League draw to have happened and all the rest of it. It's all a long, long time since we were in the Champions League, so absolutely buzzing that the draw got made. A wee bit scunnered that obviously Rangers made it as well. I know we're all meant to kind of support Scottish clubs in Europe, but at the end of the day, rivalry. I don't believe that they'd want us to be in it. So
100%, 100%. I went out the other night to watch the game. Unfortunately, had a couple of Guinnesses since I'm back in Dublin, and there was only like 8 of us in the pub, and I'm there screaming at the telly. See when the PSG, or not PSG, PSV, like literally, they were all over the first 15 minutes, and then you just felt the Sunders, But yeah, so
that's what it is. But they're there. Obviously, we just need to deal with it and need to look at our games. Obviously,
exactly. We have loads to talk about tonight. We have obviously the draw to talk about, the teams we're going to be facing. We obviously have the game to talk about the weekend. We have a cup game coming up midweek, and then we have the Glasgow Derby, as some Celtic fans like to call it, Old Firm. But we need to educate them Celtic fans and show them there's no such thing as an Old Firm. We will chat about that as well. And obviously we have to talk about the transfer window as well. That's coming to a climax in the end of Wednesday evening, 11 o'clock.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So would you have the yellow T-shirt on? Would you?
To be fair, I'll not be working, so I'll manage to see it if we do bring anybody else in.
I think we're going to bring out 2 or 3 players in, to be honest. It's just, Celtic over the last couple of years always get these last minute deals done, and there will be people obviously talking in the comments about where we need to strengthen. But let's start off, guys. Before we talk about the draw exactly, who did you think we were going to get?
To be honest, we all have our preferred draws, and to be fair, my preferred draw I think was something along the lines of, I think it was something like Tottenham, Real Madrid and Sporting Lisbon. That was my ideal draw. I think that would have been an absolutely cracking draw. I had images of Carter Vickers scoring the winner against Tottenham and Big Joe Hart saving a penalty just to ram it up them, but no, it wasn't to be. But Celtic, sometimes you end up getting the old foes, getting the famous faces like Barcelona, AC Milan, Ajax. So I wouldn't have been as surprised if we'd got somebody like them. But no, absolutely delighted with the draw. I mean, to be honest, I wouldn't have minded being in Group C. I know everybody was avoiding Group C like the plague, but when you look at was it Bayern, Barca, and Inter in the same group, that would have been box office to get the free at Celtic Park. So listen, I think it's a great draw for us.
Go back to Group C. If say for example we did get them teams in Group C, we will be sitting here tonight, what we're about to just discuss, about how confident we will be getting through the group.
Yeah.
We had this conversation about 6 weeks ago, saying we're going to have a portion of fans that are just think that we're just there for the Champions League experience. The players are there to get the experience. And then you'll have the fans that are like, we should be going all fucking out and going for this, chasing this. To be honest, over 22 million invested into the squad this season. We should be chasing to get through to the last 16. I know that sounds crazy after the conversation we had 6 weeks ago.
Yeah, I mean, to be perfectly honest with you, I know a lot of Celtic fans that I spoke to have said, oh, we can get through that group, we can get second. I'm not buying it. I'll be honest.
You're not buying it?
Not buying it at all. I think we'll be delighted to finish third.
I was going to say to you think there's Europa League football?
Yeah, I think it's massive when you think we've went for the last few years, been in Europa League and Conference League, and sometimes struggling against teams like lesser known teams, and going for that to the top of Europe's elite, like going to the top tournament and thinking, oh, we're going to come in a group with Real Madrid, Leipzig and Shakhtar Donetsk and just get second place. Absolutely not.
What has you think like that, guys? Is it a case because you go back to the last time you were in the group stages and we could have beaten Anderlecht, and we let Anderlecht beat us at Celtic Park, and we scraped through into the Europa League. Is that why it's in the back of your mind?
No, really. To be honest, I think it's we're trying to run before we can walk. Basically, I think we need to just enjoy it for the experience it is this year. Try and get into it next year. Try and build a stronger team for next year, and have that experience.
We haven't kicked the ball yet. You're writing us off getting through.
I'm just being realistic. I think a lot of Celtic fans have been a wee bit naive. If I'm being honest, I think that I've heard a lot of Celtic fans saying I think they can get second and saying we can give Real Madrid a game, and you're like, behave yourself. That's the Champions League.
Look it. We're not gonna beat Real Madrid or get a result against Real Madrid away in the Bernabeu. Let's be honest here. I think a lot of us have just put the fish in the fucking casket and admit that we're not gonna. Celtic Park. I don't know if we're just thinking too much into the past, how much of a fortress it's been, but me and you had this conversation weeks ago. Celtic Park is not the fortress of one spots for European football, as much as we're talking about disco lights and 12th man and cracking players. Like a few of these boys have European experience. I know majority of them played the Europa League last season, but the Champions League is a different level. It's a completely different level. I look at the group and I'm saying to myself, look at Shakhtar Donetsk. They've only played 2 games. They haven't played football in almost a year properly because of what's going on in Ukraine. I could fancy our chances getting 6 points against them. We're going to be playing them in Warsaw. We've already played on that pitch, obviously on pre-season leg of Warsaw's pitch. So we know what we're kind of against, and they won't have a full set of fans there as well. I know there's going to be a lot of Ukrainians that live in Warsaw because of what's going on, but I haven't checked the capacity of the stadium. I think it's like a 40,000 seater stadium. If anyone in the comments could check on what Lega Warsaw's attendance at the stadium is, will be appreciated in the comments. But I look at the likes of Shakhtar. That's a possible 6 points, right? Majority of teams in the Champions League need about 9 to 10 points to get through.
Yeah.
I said this last night, if we get 7 points, I can see us getting Europa League football. The minimum we should be going for is Europa League football. Oh, Shane, thank you. 27,000. So you're looking at ticket allocation, guys, for Shakhtar Donetsk. We should be getting 10,000, between 8 to 10,000.
Yeah, we should be, but I mean, that'll be up to, obviously, whether it's up to Shakhtar or whether it's up to UEFA. I'm not too sure how that's going to work. It's a delicate situation with the game obviously being played in Poland. So, listen, at least we're not having to travel to Ukraine, kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I think all our fans would have went anyway, to be honest.
Probably, to be honest, but I mean, obviously, I just think, honestly, I'm so looking forward to it for the 6 games that it is, and if we qualify, brilliant. If we don't, we don't. But I think it's a learning curve for us this year. We've got to, as you say, Celtic Park. We've beaten some massive teams in the past in the Champions League. We've beaten Juventus and Barcelona and all the rest of it, but we just need to. As I say, we just need to take a step back and go.
We're different. It's a different generation of football, different crop of players. Then, like, we had proper leaders on the pitch. And I know we won the 2 cups last season, and we had to run the Europa, and then we were obviously dumped out in the conference. We don't have many leaders on that pitch. We have Joe Hart, we have Callum, we have Carter Vickers. I'm starting to think Taylor's becoming a leader in some aspects. As much as I rip the shit out of him, I think he's starting to get in these games, starting to become a leader in that flank. It's, to be honest, it's what you see as well, and it's not what we see, which is the dressing room, what's going on in the dressing room. But I fancy our chances against these. I really think we can get 2nd place by a skin of our teeth. Look, a Red Bull Leipzig, they're a decent team. They have to go out and buy Timo Werner for 25 million from Chelsea, and he's a decent player. He scored his debut. Yes, there was a howler with a keeper, but they're a good side.
I mean, that's the difference. They're shelling out that kind of money on one player. We've spent our full team on that kind of budget. I mean, we've used that budget on our full team so far, kind of thing. So listen, as I say, I'm really looking forward to it. It's teams we've played before. I mean, obviously, Real Madrid is a lot further back before our time. But,
Danny McGrain.
That's obviously
best looking man
there was a friendly, obviously, and I think in America about 10 years ago. but obviously Shakhtar, we've played them a few times, played Leipzig a few times, obviously beating them in 2018. But as I say, like it'll just be good to be back at Celtic Park, hear that Champions League music, as you say, get the disco lights and let's see what we can do. You know what I mean? Like that is one of the competitions that anything can happen.
But the thing is, right, I know there's 44 people here. I know you're saying the perks of Celtic Park, European night, disco lights, the Champions League music. For the money that we've invested in the squad this season, guys, we should be thinking higher as a perspective. I know Ange has feck all Champions League experience, but we should be aiming higher because the board have backed them. And if it was a case that we only spent 10 million this window, I would be saying, yeah, well, fair enough. We should be in it just for the crack and, get a win or two and then that's it. I've changed my mentality. 6 weeks ago, I had that mentality. I was like, you know what? I could see us getting a win or two against a team and maybe scrape your rope. But I'm believing now, looking at that and the football we're playing. I know domestic football is completely different level to the European football. I believe we can go out and actually beat these teams. Real Madrid, I'm not writing us off against Real Madrid. I think it's either that we're either going to park the bus, which Ange doesn't do that philosophy, and try and nick something. I think this season, with the set pieces we have scored in the opposition half, I know they're all domestic games, I can actually fancy us scoring from a set piece in Europe. And that's what I feel about it.
Well, impossible. I mean, everybody's got a chance for a set piece.
Yeah, but if we look at the previous, but look at the previous seasons, we couldn't score for set piece. Like I think the previous season, we scored 2 set pieces or something, So 2 or 3 from set pieces. We're gonna go. Michael says he was at the 1980 game. Was this the one where was it Frank McGarvey scored? Was it Frank?
George McCluskey and Johnny.
Sorry, got the names wrong, folks. I didn't go back that long. I was born in 1990. That's well before my day. As you say, you should know your history. Frank said, another Frank. Well, up for it is completely not the issue. Instead of only we can perform as results that we can achieve. 100%, Frank. 100%.
Well, here's one for you. Do you think he'll change his style of play in the Champions League?
He won't, and that's the thing. And that's the problem.
I mean, can you imagine Joe Hart hanging about at the halfway line against Shakhtar or Real Madrid?
I think with regards to Joe Hart, I don't think Joe Hart will be out the way he usually is. I think the defense will be more deeper, but I don't think he's going to change formation wise. I think he might go ultra defensive against Real Madrid. It sounds like I'm playing fucking FIFA here, but I think people are saying last night go 3-5-2 to clam up the midfield. Why should you change a game plan for another team? At the end of the day, if you're going to win, as Anne said earlier on, we have 3 big games ahead. We need to get in the momentum. Not one part of the squad is taking this for granted. Obviously, they want to be fighting for place to get into the European squad. He hasn't really changed the team around starting lineup as well. So we'll know who what the fixtures is 11 o'clock tomorrow. They're saying between 10 and 11 o'clock in the morning. Bear the bow. Be lucky to get 8,000 at that.
Aye, that's the one I think everybody's looking at, thinking they want that everybody's away day. I think Leipzig will be a good away day as well. But I think Madrid will be the one everybody will be looking forward to going, even if you don't get a ticket, just to go and fly over. Obviously, I know the airlines and the travel agents have already hiked their prices up because they know the groups and things like that. So just go on a Ryanair flight to Manchester or something and then go to Madrid. There's ways around this stuff, folks. What I'd recommend. I'm not buying that. I don't think so. I'm not
a travel agent, but there's a website called JetCost. I usually get me flights on that if I'm going anywhere else in Europe. jetcost.co.uk or .ie. You'll get good flights on that. You will. Right, Matt O'Reilly. What's going to happen with this guy? I don't think he's going to go. I think it's a lot of show. I've done a video on earlier on.
I don't think he'll go. I think he's still happy at Celtic. I'd be very, very surprised if he went before the window shut. I don't think he will go in the next year or two. I think after a year or two, depending on how well he does, then yeah, possibly. And it will be obviously 10 plus million, 15 maybe, depending on how well he does. I think we've still to see the best of him this season.
What price tag would you put him on the moment? Be honest. I want to see people in the comments as well putting on this on Matt Riley.
Honestly, I think probably about 5 or 6 million now. Because
5 or 6 million.
I don't think he's done anything spectacular now, but I think he's got it in his locker to become a 10 or 15 million pound player.
I think a 15 million would, like, not right now. I think potentially that there's obviously these leaks on Twitter saying that Arsenal are looking at him and they're going to potentially go between 15 to 20 million. If Celtic were offered 20 million tomorrow for Matt O'Reilly, take it. Just fucking take it. Because we can get someone in the mid. Like, we have Turnbull, we have Atate, we have McGregor, we have Moy. If we got 20 million, gone. I don't think I don't think we'd even get near 20 million, to be honest. You only bought him for 1.68.
No, I think even if Matt O'Reilly has a fantastic season this season and lights up the Champions League and we win a domestic double, then I still don't believe you're going to get near 20 million. I think it'll be more between 12 and 15 probably.
Right, here's a question I want to ask the Celtic fans on this tonight. Would you rather win the treble or get to the last 16 of the Champions League or the last 8 of the Champions League? Well, just say the last 8 of the Champions League. Last 8 or a treble?
Last 8.
I'd rather treble.
No.
I want to see Ange winning 3 cups in the season.
I mean, maybe it's because
financially we'll benefit. Yeah, yes, there's going to be an extra 2 away days in the Champions League and 2 games at Celtic Park, but like that doesn't define winning a trophy. Yeah, it gets us more money in the bank. Yes, it might attract us, get more players next season, but I'd rather win a treble. Simple as that. You know, it's another day out of Hampden, as you always boast about.
Aye, well, that's it. I mean, funnily enough, I was thinking about it today, and I was saying to myself, do you know what? Like, we're in the Champions League, obviously, for a minimum of 6 games, and I'm thinking to myself, if we just play 6 games in the Champions League and win the league and the Scottish Cup, I'll be over the moon. Absolutely delighted. Because, as you know, like, the Scottish Cup is my favourite tournament, to be fair. So that's what I'm saying. Like, that in the league every year, I'll be absolutely over the moon.
But like
consistently,
you're looking at perspective. People are saying last 8. I can understand historic results in there. I can understand that, but at the same time, our club is built on glory and success, and we don't want to finish second place. It's about getting honours, winning honours, days out. Like, they're the days you remember. Yes, you remember you could beat a potential Liverpool in the last 16, or you can beat a potential PSG. Jesus, I'm going ahead of myself here, but that's the joys. That's a gamble. I just don't think Celtic have the squad to win a treble and get into the last 16 in all aspects of the season. I'd be happy with a double as well, guys. I will be happy. I'll be happy. I've said it already, and I'll say it again. I'll be happy with the whitewash over them and win the cup.
Aye, that's a fair
I'll be happy with that.
I just think, listen, Ange deserves a treble. He deserves to celebrate a treble of trophies. But if you ask him, I think he would be even more happy reaching the last 8 of the Champions League and winning maybe the league on its own. Do you know what I mean? I think he'd be quite happy winning that. Do you know what I mean? So
it's all tied to opinion, Nicholas. I know people might turn around and say I'm talking pish or talking shy, but that's how I feel. Honest opinion, you know. Some people have different outlooks. We all love the same. We all love the same cause, but as I said, that's my honest opinion. People might come out and say, "Oh, you're football knowledge is pish. You're football this," and like, that's how I feel.
If we all had the same opinion, football,
would we all be robots?
Absolute crap.
All little minions running around Celtic Park.
Aye. There wouldn't be any debates. There wouldn't be any football phone-ins.
Let's see this one here. Gary says, last day brings more prestige and prize money, which I just said there, yeah. To build a better team for next year, yes, as I just said. But you don't get a trophy at the end of it. You don't get a trophy.
But a lot more people notice you.
But at the same time, there is another benefit from it as well, guys, which we haven't said. It's bringing the fortress back to Celtic Park, you know, bringing that whole scare factor back in again, which we should have.
Aye, true. I thought you were going to say the coefficient, to be fair, but the word of the day, coefficients. No, listen, I think it's as I say, I know what you're saying. I know where you're getting to, but and maybe because we're a wee bit spoiled with winning so many trebles over the last
It's
few
not
years.
being spoiled. It's called being ambitious and taking your chances and working hard. That's what it's called.
But we have been spoiled because now you're posing the question: would you rather a treble or the last 8 of the Champions League? Do you know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying.
And that's not being spoiled. It's being ambitious. Looking at the squad depth in that league and the competitions with it, I don't even know what the crack is with the League Cup. Is the League Cup before Christmas with this World Cup going on?
No, the League Cup's February, the final.
Oh, so we're going back kind of like to the olden days.
Well, just for this year, obviously for this season, it'll go back to December next year. It's just obviously because the World Cup's just thrown everything into up there.
Right. So, how do you think we're going to beat Red Bull at Celtic Park?
Yeah.
What about away?
Away? No, I think they'll beat us away.
Look, I honestly think we can get potentially 12 points out of this, and that'll get us into the last 16. I know. I just don't know about Real Madrid. Look, Real Madrid at home, I just think it'd be more of them. If we give them too much respect on the ball, they score an absolute beautiful goal and then they'll annihilate us. Or we could take our chances.
I think if it's just one of those nights, the best we can probably hope for is a draw. Mm-hmm. That's genuinely the best we can hope for, I think, against. But see when you look at it, Real Madrid are an aging team. They are the champions of Europe, but they're an aging team.
But look at AC. But look at AC Milan.
36, Alaba's 30, Cruz is 32, Courtois, Hazard, Benzema as well. I know Benzema's still one of the best players in the world, but they're all aging. They're all in their 30s. So
but that's experience. But they still have it. Like, look at Ronaldo, he's still going. Like, Messi. Questionable about Messi at PSG, but AC Milan in the middle of the zeros, they had an aging team. They still won Champions League, so
it's experience. But I'm just saying the way we play, the style we play, and how fast we play, that it could be too much for some teams. I'm hoping it is because, as I said, I'd love to get back to winning in the Champions League and beating these teams and making Celtic Park a fortress again. I just don't see it this year.
Imagine Jota showboating against Real Madrid at Celtic Park. Fucking hell. And that's what we're going against as well. You have all these scouts from the English teams and other clubs that be sniffing around if these have a decent group stage campaign as well. Yeah, Sheriff did be Sheriff from Moldova. Well, they're from another part of Moldova, which is disputed territory. They beat Real Madrid in the Bernabeu. Anything's possible.
Yeah.
Anything is possible, but Real Madrid had a bad day and they went on to win the European Cup, for the 14th time. And a lot of people have mentioned Giakoumakis. Do you start Giakoumakis for the 3 games, or we go with Kyogo? Who'd you go with? Is it just depends coming up to it if the boys are scoring in the 3 games?
I think it just goes for game to game. Who's on form? Who's playing well? Giakoumakis has shown. I think Giakoumakis might have. I saw a stat the other day that he might have a slightly better goal scoring record or goals to games ratio than Kyogo. But it was very, very tight. I think both offer a totally different style of football. I think Kyogo's more skillful, speedy. Whereas I think Giakoumakis can bully players. He's good to bring off the bench to hold the ball up, to hold the play up. I think that's going to be key against teams like Real Madrid. But it's always up to Ange. To be honest, I think Kyogo's always going to be a starter, unless he's really off form. But I think Giakoumakis is going to have to bide his time and just come off the bench here and there, because he's not going to play 2 of them in the Champions League.
I think a lot of people are in favour of Gigi, which is a good thing. I think it's down to the physicality stage of it as well. Look at Kyogo will be good to bring off the bench 45 minutes in, bang, bit of pace. As you said, these are an aging team. Hit them with pace.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's 5 subs in the Champions League this campaign around, or is it 3? Does anyone know?
To be honest,
does anyone know? I think it's 5, because I think Rangers used fight the other night.
I'm not sure, to be honest. I didn't. I seen the last 10 minutes of the Rangers game. That was a bit. I was watching the Newcastle Tranmere game.
Celtic Park is not going to be a fortress again in this season Champions League for sure. Probably never ever again for various reasons, mostly financially. Now, to be honest with you, Frank loves speaking the truth in his mind. You gotta have some fucking faith. Jesus Christ. You sound as bad as gas. Of course it'd be a fortress. Get a win or two there. Gets the buzz going in, pushing in for the away games.
But that's what I'm saying to you. We need to walk before we run. We can't just go in and think, oh, we're going to beat Real Madrid. It's all right having confidence. It's all right having confidence to the cows come home. But at the end of the day, you need to be realistic here. It's not about being downbeat or thinking, oh, we're not going to do this and we're not going to do that. We've got to be realistic. Real Madrid are the champions of Europe. Leipzig and Shakhtar have been in the Champions League. They've been in Europe year in, year out. Even when
I know these are all experienced teams. I understand where you're coming from. Like Red Bull, did Red Bull get to the Champions League semi-final a couple of years back?
Aye, and that's what I'm saying. It's what you're talking about. It's what experience, but it's also just like, as I say, I just don't want us getting ahead of ourselves before we end up, because we might take a down for Real Madrid. We might not qualify. We might not get a point out of the group, but then again, as you say, we might win 3 or home games, and then you're got a real good shot at getting second place. So it could be one of the groups where we've seen groups in the past where Rangers are usually in them, to be fair, where everybody draws with each other and they all end up on like 4 points or 5 points after 3 games. So it could be one of the groups, but I'm just looking forward to being back involved in it, getting the atmosphere, the disco lights, and hearing that anthem again.
Well, you won't hear the anthem because the Celtic fans will scream over it.
Yeah, well, aye. That's what I'm looking forward to most. And I'd say 5 years ago, I was there when obviously Callum equalised against Bayern temporarily.
What a story that's going to be. I know the Celtic way put up that picture today. Fair play to the lads. Good job there, Tony and the team. Basically, there's a picture of Jan Vennegaard and the boys. I don't know if you've seen it. It's doing the rounds around Facebook. And Callum McGregor's a ball boy. And he's celebrating the background. It's not the one you originally showed me a couple of years back, that Champions League one. That Champions League one's golden. You should use that one. But to make to think, he's going to be the third ever captain. The captain at the Bernabeu. Obviously, you have Billy McNeil when we played them in the Stefano Cup, and then we played them in 1980 as well. Was that the European Cup we played them, or was it the Cup Winners' Cup?
European Cup, I think, as far as I'm aware.
European Cup doesn't matter. It's a cup competition anyway. But look, it's 5 subs, which is a good thing. So we'll have a bit of cord on the bench. At the moment, guys, being honest, I know you're saying stand up form. I want people to comment on this as well. Who is your back two? Who's the back two centre backs? Obviously, Carter Vickers. Who else?
It's difficult, because Starfelt obviously came off the bench at Kelly, scored the goal, his first Celtic goal, absolutely buzzing for him. I'm not sure, because, as I say, I'm still unsure about Big Jens, and I still think he looks naive at times.
See when it says what an honour for Real Madrid to face as a Celtic back. That's a real Brendan Rodgers quote there. I'm sorry, TM, but yeah.
No, but as I say, I think there's still a bit of naivety with Big Jens at the back. He's still getting caught out here and there in the league. That will come with games. The more games he plays, the better he'll get. I think he's starting to look the part. Cracking goal. That kind of bicycle kick. Absolutely didn't know he had that in his locker. But
we're learning something new every day, aren't we? Well, every game.
I don't know. For me, I'd probably stick with Jens and Carter Vickers. Just while it's working now.
Because Starfelt hasn't really played. Is that why?
Aye, just lack of game time. But I love Starfelt, and I think they've got a great partnership with Carter Vickers. But I think it will be probably Jens, and maybe just because Jens is on loan, and obviously coming for a European league. Maybe that's the reason, but I think it's a great dilemma to have when you've got 2 top defenders fighting for the one spot. Do you know what I mean? So who would you have in?
If Starfelt plays a part in the next 3 games, I'd probably start Starfelt for the European experience, to be honest with you. I think he's more comfortable with Carter Vickers because he has that partnership there. But if he doesn't get up to the races, I'll go for Jens. I'm obviously not gonna go with Stephen Welch. I don't think Stephen Welch will be able to cut it
No,
against these three teams. Look,
I think
I
he's
think
even
Stephen
behind
Welch.
Starfelt maybe.
I think Stephen Welch is going to have a good career at Celtic. I think we should keep him. I don't think if an offer comes in again, just reject. I think he can be a future captain for Celtic. And I just think he's only young. He's only in his early 20s. He's still learning. But I think if Starfelt gets a game or two in before the first start of the Champions League campaign, if we're away or home, I would go for Starfelt. But if he doesn't and Jens is playing, you go for Jens. Look, I think Jens is pretty good. I think you can see when he's very emotional. He has that.
Yeah.
I don't want this comparison to stick with people's heads, but I'm gonna put it out there. He has that Christopher Julian 4th-season comparison, doesn't he?
Aye. He's very much in the same kind of build as Julian as well, kind of height wise,
that little goatee as well, and the same
hairstyle. He's got everything that kind of looks like him.
Christopher Julian 2.0.
I can remember when he got unveiled at Celtic Park, somebody put up a photo of him and he had his arms outstretched, and the quote was, he could cover the back four himself with arms like that. We don't really need another 3 defenders. But as I say, it's one of these situations where it depends on who plays the next game or two. You know, I think if Jens stays in the team for the game at the weekend against Dundee United, then I think he's going to probably stay in.
We are getting ahead of ourselves here, as you said. We're literally running before we're bleeding walking, and we have a big game at Tannadice. Last time we played Dundee United, guys. What happened? What happened?
I think I might have went in a wee cream puff near the end of the game.
Stop!
But listen, it was a brilliant night. Memorable night for all the Celtic fans. Obviously, the ones that travelled through to Tannadice, the ones that went up to Celtic Park, and the pubs and clubs around Glasgow and Scotland. It was a fantastic night. Big Georges got the party started, obviously. But I was disappointed with the way we kind of went about the game and the way we finished the game. But listen, we got the job done. So, you know, it's always a tough place to go. We found that in the Cup as well last season. We kind of struggled.
But they're struggling this season.
Yeah, they are struggling, but, you know, you be wary of a wounded animal like that when teams are down like that. And, you know, Jack Ross is a manager under pressure.
What did we say to you when we were walking through the barriers a couple of weeks ago? We tipped Dundee United to finish in the top 5. I think they will. I think they'll get together.
Listen, I think I'm not so sure. I think when you look at it, Dundee United, I think, had a decent start to the season. I think they won their first game of the season, and then they beat Alkmaar at Dundee United at Tannadice. So I think things were starting to look rosy. Fans were getting excited, and then all of a sudden the wheels came off. They get absolutely pummeled 7-0. Then they couldn't beat Livingston and things like that. So get a down off the Hearts. So listen, I hope it's like the Kelly game where we get an early goal and we just kill the tie in the first half. But as I say, it will be a really tough game. So I'd be happy with a 2-0 kind of comfortable win, almost like the Hearts game last week. Just get the 3 points on the board, because by that point, I'm assuming that Rangers are going to take a few off the Ross County tomorrow. So, you know, it could be a potential case of goal difference coming into play again. So,
yeah, definitely. He's not being negative. He just speaks his heart. Look, as I said, everyone has a different type of opinion. You know, you can't always fucking talk to the sun, expect the world to shine. You know, that way. It's just the way it works. You know, he's entitled to his opinion at the end of the day. That's why I get him on. We have 2 different opinions about it. But regardless of Dundee the weekend, I think I can see a 4-0 win, guys. I just think the way we've been playing against away from home. I know we had a good one up in Ross County, and then I literally thought it was going to be a straight 2-0 win at Tilly, and obviously we were outstanding I think Dundee United, like, this will make or break their season starting off, to be honest. As you said, Alkmaar win was a big one. I just think everybody's going to be fighting for places, not just for the Champions League. It's for the derby game next week as well at Celtic Park. We have a decent squad of players there where you feel confident when these come off the bench. You turn around and say, well, these could do a job,
Yeah.
and hopefully the rest of the duds will be gone by Wednesday. So, what do you think of the new guy that we got in? Obviously, the guy from Montenegro.
Haksabanovic.
Haksabanovic, I've been calling him.
I've been practicing his name all week when I seen it.
It's not bad. It's not worse than Nietzsche.
He looks like a unit. He really looks like a unit. I seen him getting interviewed on Celtic TV. He looks like a proper. Nobody's going to bully him off the ball. Almost that Giacomakis build. Very, very strong on the ball. I've only seen clips of him. I don't tend to usually go in these YouTube clips, the best of, because, as I said to you before,
you're
never going to see his worst bits. You're only going to see his best bits. And listen, the best bits that I've seen from him, he looks a player. He definitely looks a player. The fact that he can play in the wing, the fact that he can play attacking mid, obviously helps. We still need a defensive mid in there, a quality defensive mid. Hopefully we'll bring one of them in by Wednesday kind of thing.
How much do you think we're going to spend? How much do you think we're going to spend? We're going to go over the 25 mil?
What are we at, the new 20? Are we at 22?
22, I think 22.3 or something.
I think we'll bring in one or two more players. I'd imagine we'll probably try and bring somebody in on loan again, and maybe
loan option the boy.
And get a £2 or £3 million player. So I think we'll bring in. I think we'll bring in another possible midfielder, and not sure whether it be a striker or a defender, but I definitely think we'll bring in two bodies by Wednesday.
Ange the way he worded out today was basically that he'd be a good asset for the final third of the pitch. So you could probably play him up front or play him on the right. We're looking at the transfer market. He's played on the right many times as well in the Swedish league. But let's see what happens. Like, it's more competition for the lads. At the end of the day, like, the more names, the better. It's better than not having anyone. But let's just hope that Mikey Johnston gets a fucking loan move. Like, swear to God.
I mean, listen, no harm to Mikey Johnston. I think he's obviously trying. I just don't think he's got it in him anymore. He's too injury prone. I don't think he'll be heading to Cyprus on loan anytime soon after the bust up him and Lenny had last time.
Yeah.
So I can't see that. But even that would be a great move for the boy, to be honest.
No, Fleetwood all day. Bruni.
Possibly, aye. But Bruni will know as well what his fitness issues are like, and I don't think he's going to take any passengers down to Fleetwood. I think he's doing quite well so far. He was very, very unlucky against Everton midweek.
Did you see the post I put up? All the fucking English trolls and all these English Premier League tits were like, oh well, they're all Mickey Mouse Cups. He didn't win a European Cup. He didn't win a UEFA Cup. I'm like, still has more honours than.
Yeah,
Lampard at 14.
Aye, he got through the first round of the cup, and then obviously came up against a Premier League team, so it was always going to be tough. But no, as I say, I think we'll bring in another couple of players, possibly a loan player, and then maybe a £2 or £3 million player if Ange has have his eye on anybody.
There's talk of obviously Yanni Stanilov from Haji Split. I just want to put it out to you, folks. That was just a rumour, a cohesion. Trying to push him for a move to Celtic. There's no truth behind it. I was talking to a lad I know from Zagreb, and he's basically said to me, "Don't mind it. It's all paper talk. Nothing to worry about it. So it's not going to happen." So
I seen as well. EA Sports have no go Ibrox or Celtic Park in the.
It's a fucking joke. Why did you sign a 5-year deal with E?
Rangers supposedly put out a tweet yesterday claiming that the stadium was going to be in the game. And then they deleted their tweet today, so I'm not quite sure what's happened there. It doesn't really bother me. I don't play it, so It
I get it every
doesn't
season, but
it
just
doesn't really
it's
bother
not the
me.
same. It's not the same. They keep changing all the button settings and the speed settings and the cursor settings. I'm just like, you know what? I can't do the classic stuff anymore. Jesus, I'd be lucky to even get out of Division 10 at this rate. Jesus. But no, look at the whole Haji Split guy. There's nothing happening there, and as I said, it's all paper talk. I know I talk about a lot on the channel. I bring names up and I put it out there. As I said, it's all speculation, tweets. You have to see. I know a lot of people that watch this just want to hear the concrete stuff they want to hear confirmed by the club, but I won't be able to vlog if there's nothing to talk about. You know,
Yeah,
there's nothing that's the transfer window is my favorite thing to talk about, to be honest with you, because it means you have to go on and look, and like, as much as we do be linked with 100 people in the window, and only maybe 6 or 7 of them come to the door. But regards to the players that we have brought in, who has been the signing so far that has made you feel happy? Now, a lot of people are already going to go with Jota for the permanent deal.
I think it has to be. To be honest, I know it's easy to say because we know what he could do last season. What he's already done this season, he's hit the ground running. Some players have second season syndrome where they kind of falter and they don't kind of hit that peak that they hit last season. But as I said, he's having a goal of a season competition all himself because that strike against Kilmarnock was absolutely out of this world. I know the keeper probably should have saved it, to be honest. I don't think he got his feet sorted it quick enough. But just the confidence that he knows he can hit it for 30, 40 yards. And that, going back to the Champions League, he could ping one against Real Madrid or Leipzig for 30, 40 yards and catch a keeper off his line or catch a, so listen, who knows, but I think definitely Jota.
Imagine Jota banging a screamer in the Bernabeu against Courtois. I can imagine with the band.
I think Carter Vickers is excelled again. I think he looks really, really comfortable. It seems to be with him and Jens that he's almost one's going forwards, one's staying back kind of thing. Obviously in the league, domestically, which you can do because Celtic are getting that much space for the box to the halfway line that the defenders can go forward, and I think even Jens is looking at it as if to go. I know he's talking himself into a move, but I think Jens is looking at it going like that. Absolute piece of piss here. Do you know what I mean? Like nobody's come near me. So as I say, like I probably Jota, to be honest. I think we're still to see the best out of the signings we've got kind of so far for this season, but I definitely think Jota's going to be. He's going to scoop the awards again this season, to be honest. I think he's going to scoop all the awards at the end of the season.
Definitely 100%. I think Jota will be on 15, 16 goals, and I'd say double amount of assists as well. I think he'll definitely clean up. I just want to see, obviously, Kyogo try to get over 20 goals this season. Now, obviously, he had the injury last season between Christmas up to March. Hopefully, you see him. Yeah, I think, to be honest with you, if we get the good run in the Champions League, if we do get into the last 16 or even a run in the Europa League, get the last 8 or the last 4, I know I'm getting ahead of myself here, but just being ambitious in my head, we will see the likes of Jovanovic, Giakoumakis, and Jota hard to keep. And I'm looking at potential between the three of them lads if we get to the players that we expect to see out of them, the performances that we expect to see out of them at the highest stage and even derby games. I'd say we're looking at 60 million between the three of them.
Yeah, I would say so.
You're looking at a Jota. You're looking at about 25 for Jota. You're looking at about 15 for Giakoumakis, and then Jovanovic as well.
Depending on how Jota performs, especially in the Champions League, it doesn't matter what he's going to do in the league and the cup and things like that, because people aren't really taking that serious because it's the Scottish League. But if he really lights up the Champions League,
stats talk, guys. Stats talk.
No, they do talk. But I mean, Newcastle have just purchased Isaac from Real Sociedad.
Didn't even know who he was.
He's for 63. Absolute looks a really good player. Young Swedish boy. Looks a player. 63 million. Smashed the transfer record for Newcastle. But he scored 6 goals in the last 32 games for Sociedad. That
big difference from Chris Wood.
That doesn't scream a £63 million player. So I'd say the valuations are all upside down and gobbledygook, to be honest. So
It's called, look at Man United. Man United put a bid in for 90 million today for some lad from Ajax and rejected again. That's what you call, it's what you call panic buying. Trying to panic, panic bids.
I think to be honest with the Man United situation, I think they will get it right, because you saw the difference with the team with dropping Ronaldo and Maguire. Monday night they beat Liverpool. Liverpool couldn't beat their own shadow. I think Rangers will fancy their chances
Fuck off
as well in that group. I really do. I think Rangers will fancy their chances in that group.
Well, you Steve McManaman in disguise.
I'm telling you, honest to God. Because listen, we've said it all last season, when they played Dortmund, when they played Leipzig, when they played all these good teams in Europe. And I know there was a few like Bragas that shouldn't have really been there. They were kind of freak season. But listen, PSV as well, and like everybody was expecting PSV, especially after the first leg, to turn around and smash Rangers. Didn't turn up. So listen, whether it's a combination of luck and good play for Rangers, I don't know. But in Europe, they're a different animal, and they will fancy their chances.
They won't beat Liverpool on Anfield. They won't beat Liverpool on Anfield. Come on, let's be honest.
I'll tell you, if they get Liverpool first, say they get Liverpool at Anfield first or Ibrox first, they'll fancy their chances, because Liverpool cannot beat their own shadow in it. They can't get that together quick enough in it.
Klopp has his 7th season, like. Disease where
I know they're saying it's a jinx where it's 7th season, and I think he got relegated with one of his teams before or something, and blah blah. But Liverpool have got a fantastic squad of players like Robbo, like Diaz and Salah. And
see this shite with Everton and Catholic clubs and this bollocks. Majority of people in Ireland don't look back that long. I know people saying Liverpool was a Freemason club and all this shit. The Premier League is a franchise. It's a franchise, folks. They don't look into it. People that were born, their dad either supports Liverpool or Man United in Dublin or in Cork, whatever, and they follow the trend. So people are not going to look into this whole Freemason sectarian shit. Just forget about it. Yeah, Everton were the Catholic club of Liverpool, but look at the amount of Irish people have played for Liverpool. You know,
Steve Finnan won the Champions League. I don't like either one of them, so. So fine, but listen, I'll be back in Liverpool for 2 nights and 2 nights.
Oh, definitely.
2 nights and 2 nights only.
You know, I'm coming out of retirement to be a Liverpool fan for 2 games. That's why I put it on Facebook last night. As everyone knows, I used to be a Liverpool fan years ago, so don't fucking support them now. Fucking be supporting them against them, anyways. But but look, we have the cup as well during the week. Ross County. Yeah. Dingwall, tough place to go. We obviously won there the other day. Well, 3 weeks ago at this rate. Someone that said on the comments last night, and I don't mean to name or shame them in any way. He said a lesser squad, and I said, look, it's not a lesser squad because we have players that we've got bench there that we could rotate around and compete.
Mm-hmm.
Would you be changing it around? Would you be mixing it around or keep the same team?
Absolutely not. I'm not having Ross County beat us again in a cup competition. Absolutely not. I think Ange won't have that either.
We were there, guys.
Yep. Still remember.
We weren't at the Celtic Park one because it was COVID, but we were at the one at Hampden.
Yeah. As I say, I'm just not having them beat us in the cup again. I don't think the players will be up for losing that game again. I think they'll be full strength until it's.
Would you put Seacrest in goal?
I would play Seacrest in goals. That's probably the only change I would make. To be honest.
Ralston right back.
Possibly, but outgoing that I might start Giakoumakis, but it wouldn't be a weakened side. It would be.
I thought you were saying Giakoumakis right back. I was like, what?
No. I was just thinking Giakoumakis up front for a bit of power, a bit of.
You might do a job there.
A bit of bullishness, but no, I think. It won't be a weakened side, but I think there might be players that come in that don't usually start games, like Ralston, like Giakoumakis, like Seacrest. For me, I would start Seacrest in both cups and just give them the 2 cup.
Yeah, but we have them the weekend as well. One eye on them the weekend. You know, you want to. obviously beat them as well. Like what I was saying was last night, right? People might agree with me or disagree. I'll go with Big Benji and goal. Big Benji and goal. Ralston right back. Taylor left back. I think Taylor needs all the games as much as he can. I know with Bear the Bay there, and look, he made a fuck up, and we have to move on from it. I'll go with Welch, and I'll go with Starfelt. Give Carter Vickers the rest, even though Carter Vickers is consistent and he always plays these games anyway. I'll go with Aaron Moy. Go with Tate. I know you sound crazy. Aaron Moy, Tate, and all right, he's going to say Rogic. Jeez, I'm this is terrible. Right wing, I'd go for Jamesy. Left wing, I'd go with Moyeda, and then up front, Big GG.
Nah, I don't think. I'll be honest. I don't think that team's strong enough to beat Ross County at Dingwall in a Wednesday night or Tuesday night.
Then why me buying these players? Then why are people saying an Andrew trust? Like that's the crop of players we have that we can rotate around and hopefully win a game for us.
No, I mean I don't think for the simple fact Stephen Welsh hasn't played enough games recently. Aaron Moy doesn't look fit enough yet.
Scored in the opening game of the season. What are you talking about?
He scored in the opening game of the season. Have we seen him? Have we seen much of him since? I know there's only 4 games in, but
because we purchased a man on loan, Mercedes Jens. That's why.
But it doesn't mean he jumped straight into the squad. You know, Bernabei never jumped straight into the squad. Taylor kept his place. So no, I just think that's too weak a team for Ross County. That's what I'm saying. I just think it's too weak a team. I think making 1 or 2 changes here or there. I say Giacomakis for Kyogo and
it's
Ralston.
He always calls me Mick.
And I would definitely give Siegrist the 2 cup competitions.
Yeah, definitely. I think Bain can get the fuck as much as thank you for the service, Scott Bain. Get the fuck. You know, he thinks he needs to go to another club, you know. I think Conor Hazard's due back soon as well. I can't see him getting the chance as well, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for not picking the team. I just want to see squad rotation. I want to have fresh legs for Saturday. What's wrong with that?
What's wrong with that?
What's wrong with that?
It's as you say. Everybody's entitled to their opinion.
I just don't want their boys burned out by October. That's all I'm saying.
I get that. There's a lot of
we had a lot of hamstring injuries.
Potential 50 games to be played between now and end of the season. So
yeah, well, look at James Forrest has a point to prove. At the end of the day, we give him a 3-year contract. Obviously, we're not going to start him in the big games. So put him against Ross County in the cup and see can he do a job for 40 minutes and then take him off. And
the only thing I would say about that is Ross County is a big game in the cup because they're a Premier League side and it's always a tough game up there, especially in a midweek. Whereas if we were playing Raith Rovers and an Athletic at Celtic Park, then I could understand playing like Aaron Moy and James Forrest and all these fringe players on the bench, Stephen Welsh and things like that. I can understand playing a weaker side then.
Do you think he'll be featured in the weekend against Dundee? Big set.
No. Probably no. It's up to Ange, obviously. Obviously, I think there seems to be a wee bit of weakness in that position if we're going to play him as an attacking mid. I'm not convinced with Turnbull yet this season. I think he's trying.
Same here.
He's trying.
He is trying, but he's just
at the same time,
missing.
Sometimes you can be trying too hard and trying too much. There's a few times where he's won the ball brilliant and he should have laid it off, should have squared it, and he tries the shot himself and blasts it over the bar. I don't hear any Ryan Christie comparisons.
Oh, Jesus.
With David Turnbull.
I was about to say that. I hope he's not getting the Christie virus.
I don't hear anybody slagging David Turnbull like they did with Ryan Christie. But, you know, that's for another day kind of thing. But as I say, like, I like Turnbull, and I just think he's trying too hard now. Hatate looks a lot fitter, a lot quicker, a lot better. You know, especially against Hearts. Really unlucky. And as I say, you've got O'Reilly in there that can play in that midfield. So I wouldn't be surprised to see him come off the bench, but I don't think he'll start him. I think it'll pretty much be unchanged and as you were for the Hearts game.
And that's the difference. Obviously, this time last season, we didn't have this headache of playing these, have an option of having all these players to pick from. We just had to put out, you know, Dane Murray. Nothing against young Dane Murray,
Where's
Adam
he went?
Montgomery. Yeah, like, but let's talk about, like, some people have mentioned already to me. Like, I didn't even go on. I was just having to think about today, the amount of players that have left. So we have Bolingoli gone. We've got Sorrow gone on loan. We have Julian that's gone. Oh Jesus, O'Connell.
Is a
Um,
Yeti away? I heard something about a Yeti leaving during the week. Yeah.
yeah, he might be going to race in Santander in the
Yeah.
Saguna League. But don't concrete about it. Like, some of the players I'm even forgetting about has left Celtic. It's just, there's been a clear out. I think it's nearly at 10 players.
Yeah.
And Owen Moffat is meant to be going to Blackpool as well.
Oh, so
Ben
Scales
Doak's
is away
gone.
on loan.
Ben Doak's gone.
Aye, Scales is away on loan.
Yeah. Montgomery's gone to St. Johnston on loan. So there's been,
Yeah.
like, the squad is being trimmed down a bit, which is good. And I wouldn't say, no disrespect, it's not Deadwood. I think Liam Scales needs the experience of the league. I know they wanted to buy him, and there wasn't that
Yeah.
option there. I think Adam Montgomery, you think he'll ever get as a future left back for Celtic? Quite young.
Nah.
Chances are quite slim. I think,
Don't
you know,
think
like,
so.
it
I don't think.
Mm.
I think he's got pace, and I think he likes to get forward, and maybe he can come back and try and fight for his place. But if you've got a player like Bernabe in there who we've not really seen a lot of yet, Greg Taylor, who is on the form of his life now, it's going to be very difficult to. It's going to be very difficult to shift A2 out the team if you've only got one guy in front of you.
Barkas is gone as well.
Aye, thank fuck. As I say, like, if you've got one guy in front of you, you've got a chance. You've got half a chance of getting in that team. Two guys in front of you, very, very limited, especially if you're a young boy. Uragidi, yeah.
That's the names. Like, we're forgetting about all these players. Like, you know.
Aye.
So we're getting there.
I don't think Uragidi's coming back, to be fair.
No, he's definitely gone. There's an option for them to buy at the end of the season. We're potentially talking about 1.8 million to sell him. They were originally willing to put 2.7 in, but it's meant to be lower.
I actually like him. I actually think he could have a future at Celtic if we brought him back and gave him some game time. I think definitely he's got something about him. But obviously, I don't know if he was an Ange signing. I don't really think he was. I think he kind of came in. Probably did he come in when Lennon was there? Am I right in saying?
Yeah, he was a great in principle with the whole Neil Lennon thing at the time. But look at Shaw. I don't know what the crack is with Liam Shaw as well. Like,
is he still at Motherwell?
No, he came back.
Did they come back? Shows you, Jane. Like,
it just shows that. And then Dembele's gone as well.
Yeah, I knew that. Yeah.
Like, I can't. Speaking of making money off the windfall players, I think Moussa Dembele, he's at to turn down a contract at Lyon in a 1-year deal. So
yeah,
for us to make any money off Moussa Dembele, it has to be 25 million.
Yeah. What is it? What is the selling fee we've got? Is it 20%?
15%.
15%. Yeah. Obviously, listen, he's done his time in France and he wants a new challenge and he wants to go, whether he wants to go to the English Premier League or wherever. Maybe
would you take him at Newcastle?
100%. Aye.
Ahead of Chris Wood.
Listen, I play you in front of Chris Wood at this moment in time. No, as I say, listen, I think, to be honest, obviously Callum Wilson's out for 3 or 4 weeks with a hamstring again. It's no ideal. But obviously we brought in Isaac for Sociedad, so comes with a glowing reference for Zlatan. Zlatan rates him even better than him and Henrik.
Zlatan was a beast when he was at Malmo, and they went to Ajax. That's a tough comparison. But Tierney, I can't see Tierney leaving Arsenal.
Possibly, don't know. I think Arsenal have turned a corner in terms of, I've still to see. I'm going to watch the documentary tonight, the All or Nothing documentary. I say I think Arsenal might have turned a corner if he can get into that team and consistently play. Then he probably won't go this season. But I think, to be honest, I think he will go eventually. He's got to go to a better team that's going to win trophies consistently.
Yeah, as we said, we were talking about this earlier on. I don't think Andrew will change the system in the Champions League as much as we're all going to be cautious of Real Madrid's approach or Red Bull's approach. I wouldn't change the system away. I think, at the end of the day, yes, them clubs are going to study us before going up to the game. Like, how they play this 4-2-3 system, and we need it. The clubs might change their system to try weaken us.
Aye.
But I don't think Ange will change the system. I know people are saying 3-5-2. I can't see us playing two strikers up front. I know he did try to do two strikers up front against Bodo Glimt, as I remember. But nah.
But I think that was more when we really needed goals.
Mm.
That he threw them on. It wasn't that he started with two of them. I think it was more that it was probably the last 20 minutes. I think we needed goals and we ended up leaking goals rather than scoring them. But no, as I say, it's just going to be exciting to get the Champions League football back.
I still think Celtic fans in their head think that Air Stadium is a fortress, and no, we can beat anyone in the stadium.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but we're not at the level we once were in European football. The only reason, and to be honest with you, I remember after the Bodo Glimt game, I turned around and said, God fucking help us in the Champions League next season. God help us, because even we struggled against Bodo Glimt. Bodo Glimt, did they get through? Did they? Or they missed out narrowly? They missed out narrowly. They're into the Europa League.
I think they're in the Europa
League, and they were a good fucking side as well. Pace wise, they were a decent side. And that was in the Conference League. I think people are getting ahead of themselves with the whole Real Madrid. We can beat Real Madrid. Yes, I said if we have the 12th man behind us, if we have players that forget about these are Real Madrid, just go out there and challenge them. And if their experience fought asunder, we could take them on. But I really believe, out straight, which is I don't think we're going to get anything from Real Madrid, home or away. I know people are saying share of this, share of that, but Real Madrid had a bad night, and they went on to win the La Liga, and they went on to win the Champions League as well against Liverpool. Look, they were shite against Liverpool. It's just Courtois was fucking outstanding that night in Paris. He was outstanding. But we should be like, we'll go to Celtic Park and take them on and see what happens. But I just think too many people are jumping the gun with, we can beat Real Madrid. We've done this in 1980. It's 40 fucking years ago.
Yeah,
40 years ago.
Danny McGrain at left back.
Yeah.
No, listen. I mean, then obviously you fancy us to go through.
I do fancy us. I think.
How many points do you think we'll finish?
9 points will do us.
9.
9 points will do us. I think 9.
6 against Shakhtar and 3 against somebody else. Or
3
draws.
3 a Red Bull in there. Red Bull home win, and then a double over Shakhtar.
6 against Shakhtar.
Europa League, I'm going for 7.
I'm going to go for 5 points in third place.
Yeah, but Martin, that will probably define it for about 10-15 minutes, and then if we were to leak a goal too early, the heads will drop, and now the fans will be screaming, and there's only a certain amount of time to scream, and then they'll be getting frustrated. You know yourself. I don't think people think that's Real Madrid. People just want to expect Celtic to get back into the game. As I said, we don't need to give that team respect because they're the European champions. Go out there and try to bully them off the fucking ball.
And then there's obviously the point as well. We're talking about disco lights, we're talking about atmospheres and things like that. Obviously, talking about the Glasgow Derby next week, the ticket allocation obviously hasn't been increased. What do you think? Do you think it's ridiculous? Do you think it's right? Do you think Celtic should have been a bigger club and gave them 10,000?
It's a conversation that me and you've discussed this for years and years. You're going to have a portion of fans now that will say, no, don't give them nothing. I don't want them near Celtic Park. But at the same time, you're saying if you don't want them near Celtic Park, they shouldn't have us near Ibrox. You know, if I think both clubs need to sit down. I think the SFA need to get out of corruption arse, sit down, and I think Sky Sports need to sit down and stop boasting this derby up to be the biggest thing ever if we don't have the fans in for both aspects.
Yeah.
I think it was great to have the 700 odd in the other at Ibrox, and the guy that got the job at Ibrox and stayed in the toilet and then went to. But I just think don't give them the 10,000. Give them 3,000 and give us 3,000. That's a stepping stone. 3,000.
No, stepping stone for me. I said to you last season, I says it won't get increased last season.
Because you have your season ticket. You'll have your season ticket holders.
Aye, get the two clubs to sit down around the table with some mediators or whatever and thrash out a deal that sees the full amount, whether it was 8 or 10,000, get it back because it is killing the derby. And obviously I text my best mate and he says his reply was, nah, screw them. They started it, so give them nothing. And I'm not buying that because listen, we all know the game back in February.
But we don't want it, guys. We don't want to go down the road of River Plate and Boca Juniors. We don't want that. Like for a massive company like Sky Sports that boasts this derby, don't get me wrong, it is the fucking best derby in world football. We've both been there. We've both tasted winning and tasted losing, and there's no fucking better feeling. But I think giving them 3,000 and us getting 3,000. The only problem about us getting 3,000 is, are they going to give us back that bit of that stand? I don't think so. Majority of our best season ticket holders are in that stand, I've been told.
Now, but the thing is, you're saying give them 3,000. So where do you go after the 3,000? Do you then? What is the reasoning for maybe the next season saying we'll give you 5,000 next year?
Because it's down to
building. Why are you needing to build up and build up and build up?
Because
why not just say 10,000? Boom, it's done.
Because he smashed up Celtic. Because he smashed up Celtic Park, and I'm thinking that's a cautious approach. And plus, you don't want another portion of our fans complaining about the season tickets being jeopardised as well. So give them 3,000. Give them a bit. Give them obviously a bit in the corner and a little bit more, and see how they get on. If they act the bollocks, which they start smashing up toilets and act the bollocks straight away, you cut it for next season.
Do you not think there's an element? Do you not think there's an element of Celtic fans that go to Ibrox and do the same?
If they do the same, and if it's a case that we owe them money and they owe us money, which they owe the face painter money anyway. If it's the same from both sides of the fans, just cut it then. At least you've tried it. At least you tried, and then going forward, you say, right, this hasn't worked. We'll accept the 500 or the 700, both fans, and we get on with it, and we never talk about it again.
I just think
it's embarrassing.
Build it up.
I just think it's embarrassing. We're looking at Hampden, and we've both halves.
And you've seen the atmosphere, and you heard the atmosphere, and it was electric for both sides. And that's what I'm saying. We need to get that back because the game in February was fantastic. It was something I'll always remember. The 3-0 game when Hatate scored the double. And Abada scored the third before half time, and the place was bouncing, and it was in darkness, and there were disco lights and things like that, spotlights, and it was absolutely fantastic. But what happened in the second half? The fans were like, game's won. The atmosphere kind of dropped. Atmosphere kind of died. So because you've not got any away fans to shout abuse at and get that back and fro to and fro, you know what I mean? That's what you need. That's what you bounce off it during the game. If the game's not gone well, or if it's nothing each, you then banter with the opposing fans, and
But that's what you're going to have. That's what you're going to have at your AGMs. You're going to have a portion of fans that sit in the Lisbon line stand that have the season tickets, and then you're cutting them off because we're accommodating them to be in this portion of this.
But it's got to work both ways. I'm not saying
but like this 10, example, Derry Jerry saying keep them away. If you keep them away, what does that mean for us then, Derry? Does that mean that we're away from Celtic or away from Ibrox? It doesn't work. It has to work both ways. That's what I'm saying. There's
got to be something written down in a legal binding contract that says that both clubs have to abide to at least 8,000 away tickets for each ground. And 8,000 away tickets.
And what's going to happen if you get them? what will happen if we get them in the cup in one of the stadiums? What's going to happen then for the allocation?
I'd imagine it's still up to the clubs. As far as I'm aware, I don't believe that it's, as long as it's no in the semi-final or the final stage, I'd imagine it's still up to each individual club how many tickets they want to give. So if I'm right in thinking, Dundee United, did they not cut our allocation for the cup game last season?
Look at St Mirren. St Mirren are an embarrassment, an absolute embarrassment. You seen the story during the week that their fans are paying an extra £30 so they can keep us out and keep Rangers out as well.
Yeah,
that's fucking.
I don't
pathetic.
agree with that, because when you look at Tony Macaroni Stadium at Livingston,
what a stadium!
It's honestly like
sure.
It's brilliant when you, because you're getting an atmosphere. It's such a small ground, such a tight ground, but you're getting an atmosphere because 3 stands are full of Celtic fans or they're full of Rangers fans. And Livingston are doing the right thing because, listen, they've got results against Celtic and Rangers when the stadium's been full of Celtic and Rangers fans. So it's not like it's a case of they're just letting every Celtic and Rangers fan into the ground and they're absolutely getting pumped every single time. They're still putting in a shift. The players are leveling, raising the level.
I look at it, right, just pretend that I'm not a Celtic fan here and I'm looking at it as a, like, say if I'm an English Premier League fan and I switch on Sky Sports on a Sunday and Celtic are away to fucking Kilmarnock, which you were a few weeks ago, and you see only one stand of Celtic fans. From 2012, from years ago, we used to have the 3 stands.
Yeah.
We used to, Killy were applauded for giving the 3 stands to both teams. Now you look at it from an outside perspective, trying to sell the Scottish League. How the fuck would people watch that and you only see literally a handful of fans? There was a handful of fans in the Killy end on the left side on that Sunday, and you had this. That's
because they're away at Ibrox.
But it's just an absolute joke. We need the away allocation for both these teams needs to be sorted between all these other clubs, because if they want to, when they call it the Old Firm comes to town, that's when they make the most money. And why would you want to boycott the Old Firm where you can have your stadium majority full?
If they want to cut their nose off to spite their face, then that is totally up to them. It's their stadium, it's their rules, and that's Celtic and Rangers are just going to have to deal with it. But what will happen then is there will become a time down the line where they might be struggling financially, and they might then turn around to Celtic and Rangers and say, right, we're going to give you 2 stands, we're going to give you 3 stands, and Celtic and Rangers can turn around and go like that. I don't want it.
Hearts were the first one this season to do it, and then it was Killy, and then it was St Mirren, and then you were saying Dundee United. I know Dundee United. Dundee United done it last year because obviously the storm that happened at the stadium. But no, it just something needs to be done. As you said, the whole Ibrox and Celtic Park between both teams. Out straight. I know people are like, fuck them, don't want them back near the stadium. Give them the 3,000. We take 3,000, and then we'll take it from there. If both fans act the bollocks, you cut it straight away between the remaining 2 games.
I'm not having that. I just think there's no point in just saying, oh, we'll make it 3,000, as if that should be a compromise. It should be 8,000 or just keep it at 700.
Keep it at 700. 8,000. It's a lot to let back into Celtic Park, to be honest. As I said, you got to look at it.
And they've got to let the 8,000 back into Ibrox. Come what may. That's the only way we're going to get the atmosphere to this game back, because it's all very well having 58,000, 59,000 at Celtic Park, and they're all cheering on Celtic and things like that. And it's great for the team, but it didn't work for us last season when obviously we drew 1 each with them, near the end of the season, and Jota opened the scoring and Sakala equalised near the end of the game.
We're horrendous the second half. We should have been beating that game, to be honest. Shit. The second half we were terrible, and they should have beaten us. But as much as I hate saying that, look at Ross County for the cup game. James is at the saying there. What a name, James McMullen. James Double Mac. Return of the Mac. What are they talking about? 27,000 capacity. I think they're talking about Warsaw here. Warsaw, the Lego Warsaw Stadium for the True.
Well, that's the thing. That's how it all started because they were fed up of us going to Ibrox and scalping them and celebrating in their thousands. That's why they cut the allocation. And to be fair to them, it worked because Rangers went on a run where we couldn't beat them for years. So they've got their reasons, and that's why they've done it. But at the end of the day, no, we need to get it back.
As I said, I think we need to get it back as a marketing perspective and as a passion perspective for both set of fans. I know, as you said, February was a magical night. It was a magical night. The lights, the huddle, the smoke, the display, getting the 3 goals by half time. And then the second half, we dipped off. And I'm not trying to be negative in the second half, but we did dip off. And you just want. To be honest, I think after the second goal went in, I thought job was done. That's how I felt.
I think the pace went out the game because they put so much effort into the first half, so much running, so much energy.
Tomorrow.
That they did just probably burn themselves out for the second half. But as you say, the job was done. I know I would have loved. I was raging that we didn't go in and win 5 or 6-0. And for Alan McGregor, it would have been that night.
Yeah.
So. But as I say, the job.
What's your favourite picture? It's Hat Day celebrating, and you see goals from the background moaning, or when you see remember Jovanovic and Kent. What was a better moment? I know what you're going to say. You know, say neither. What was your favorite? The Jovanovic when he just laughs at him. I think it was like they done a fireball thing. Did he nuts him or he kicked the ball? He kicked the ball off him, didn't he, to go out for a goal kick or something?
Yeah, that's right. Personally, I think it was Callum McGregor calling Barisic a shite bag.
I knew we were going to say it.
That was my highlight of that game. To be fair,
I missed the mask.
I just replay it. I just replay it sometimes. Just that chase back into his own half and calling him a shite bag. He's never recovered. He's never recovered. Barisic.
No, I wanted to. I'm not drinking tonight. No, there was some game. Really was unbelievable. I had some shithead in the boozer, right? Because I was updating on the page, and he gets up and starts screaming. He's like, "Are you fucking watching the game?" Because of course I'm watching the game. I'm updating my phone. You should be on your fucking phone. When Celtic are playing, I was like, "Shut up, you fucking mug! You're one of us." Like at the end of the day, you're too busy watching me on my phone. I'm watching the game. Stuff to do.
Aye.
Yeah, I had a fucking family member sick in hospital, and I'm trying to go out and enjoy myself, watch the game, and have dickheads like you telling me what to do. Like, fuck off. So I said it to the barman a couple of weeks later. I said, next time he's in here and he starts giving me shit, fuck him right out. I go, at the end of the day, there's no need for it. Like, I was just updating something on my page, like, like I was only on the phone for 2.5 minutes, and him and his mate. As soon as the celebrations full time, they walked out of booze. I was like, why would you walk out after beating them? Why would you walk out? Like, yeah. So 52 in chat, 26. But yeah, the fixtures are going to be announced tomorrow about between 10 and 11. So fingers crossed. I'll be on tomorrow as well. I'll do a video tomorrow about talking about the games, obviously who we get first and our chances. But the games will come quick enough, guys. There's obviously as far as I know, there's only a week or two break between the games.
Yeah, as well. I think the first game's on the 6th and the 7th of September. Then it's the following week, and then we're probably in October.
I think we're the 7th.
International break.
I think was when I was watching that draw yesterday. Obviously, they were showing you the groups and the way that the teams are putting the groups. Are we? Which group are we? Group F? Was it Group F?
Group F, yeah.
Group F. So more likely, Rangers will probably play on the Tuesday night, and they will play on the Wednesday night.
Possibly, but as you say, we'll see tomorrow what happens. Everybody, all the Celtic fans, I'd imagine, will be on their laptops ready for the announcement to book the flights to Madrid and to Germany. So, no, as I say, listen, it's exciting, and as I say, there's a couple of cracking away days in there, and hopefully we can play well in the group kind of thing. But as I say, the group obviously finishes a month early because of the World Cup. So rather than it finishing the start of December, I think it's going to be the start of November. It finishes. So you've also got the international break in between. We're getting my Scotland stuff out again.
Who cares about that show? They're playing
Don't be
Ireland.
like that. Just
They're
don't be
playing
like that. Just
Ireland and
because they're
Hampden.
shite.
We're gonna beat you in Hampden. Don't worry about that, man. Don't worry
Aye,
about that.
aye, sure.
But yeah. So we're gonna leave it there tonight. Hopefully we'll see. As I said, the fixtures are out tomorrow. I'll try pop on during the week, folks. So I'll get on Monday night if I can, or a Tuesday night if I'm not busy back in Bonnie, Scotland. But thanks to having Gaz on, folks. Gaz does his own little podcast as well, and just try to get him to more subscribers. It's the Celtic Appreciation page. It's on Facebook. They have over 14,000 likes. They're on Instagram as well, and they're also on YouTube. So go on and support Gaz. It's only going to take his 2 seconds. It's the Celtic Appreciation page. It's on YouTube. Give him a like, give him a subscribe. Do it for me, do it for Keefe. And I just want to say a massive thank you to everyone that tuned in tonight, from Frank that speaks his mind to Derry Jerry, to Derek, to Sean, to all the people that tuned in. Fair play to, and obviously Martin as well in Belfast, of course. And I'll speak to you all soon. Good night, God bless. Take care, folks.